We were at fault by the ACLU, by the NAACP, and the rest of them. So this is where the left gets away with it, and I'm sick and tired of it. So our schools are racist. Blacks and Hispanics are expelled and suspended for the exact same behavior where whites aren't. Yeah, right. I don't believe it for a second, but that's the mentality. And if it's true, then we have a failed public education system as far as the left's concerned. But try and cut one penny. See, I pick up all this stuff because I understand what the left is. Go ahead.
Is a threat. This kid is a class clown if they're white. And so there is a concern that I think parents have, and you've heard now African-American educators coming out saying, if you start just passing out guns in schools as they are, given
Who talk? The intellectual poison and dishonesty of this man is just putrid. But then again, that's why he's at CNN. Did somebody talk about passing out guns as schools as they are? Has anybody said that? No. Go ahead.
There, you might wind up having, those guns used against students in ways that are not good.
Oh, in other words, you might shoot people because of their race. What did I tell you? They attack the cops. They want soft on crime judges. They want to disarm you. You have no protection. None whatsoever. And it is the lunatic, radical left, like this guy, Van Jones, but he's not alone. There's many, of all races, who will get more and more of our kids, more and more people injured, killed because of their ideas, in my humble opinion. Now, I can assure you, he doesn't insist that CNN remove all security from its building because the security guards or the armed guards or whatever they have there might shoot black or Hispanics more than whites. We also happen to know, as a matter of statistical, unequivocal fact, that more blacks die at the hands of blacks, it's not even close, than any other race. We're not going to have a town hall meeting at that, certainly not at CNN. The NEA and the AFT, the biggest local school district in Virginia, right next to where I am, Fairfax County. One of the brave school board members said, let's have a discussion about, armed, properly trained professionals in our school. They booed her down. They voted her down. They wouldn't even allow for a discussion. Then they put out a resolution for gun control. Good luck, Fairfax County. Good luck. You're going to need it. I'll be right back.
The establishment's worst nightmare. Mark Levin. Call in now. 877-381-3811.
Let me ask you a question. If somebody suffers from depression, are they allowed to defend themselves? If somebody has recently seen a psychiatrist, for whatever the reason, they're not considered criminally dangerous, but they've seen a psychiatrist. Are they permitted to have a gun? And what exactly is this new vetting going to look like? Psychiatrists, psychologists, other medical professionals, are they going to have to submit documents or something? What are they going to have to do? How's this going to work exactly? I need to know. And what about people who already have weapons? What if they've had bouts of depression? They lost somebody in their family. They lost their job. They had a tough 3 or 4 months. They were getting help, having medicine. But they're okay. They're on the mend. What about them? What do they count as? People throw these phrases around and we need to make sure people who are mentally ill can't have what? Well, what does that mean? What exactly does that mean? And if somebody thinks they have a mental issue, a chemical imbalance, they're depressed or whatever, but they have weapons, they like to hunt, they want to protect their family, whatever the reason, what's the likelihood they're going to get help? You know, we never talk about unintended consequences because all we see on TV right now is clapping seals, even among our own ranks, that something has to be done. The fact that the people who failed to act aren't held to account, the fact that that's not the issue that's focusing the nation, but an abstraction, a complete and utter abstraction is focusing the nation. There are real consequences and real unintended consequences. Now let's talk about this age thing, 18 to 21. You shouldn't be able to get a rifle. Any rifle? What if I like to hunt with my father? Can I use his rifle when we hunt, or am I not allowed to do that? I don't know. Am I allowed to even target practice with a rifle? Can I use somebody else's? Is that allowed? Or I just can't buy one on my own? I can't buy a rifle. But I can buy a pistol? More people are killed in this country, 3 times as many, by pistols as by rifles and shotguns. So I can buy a pistol. That's okay? Well, now we got to control the magazines, the number of bullets. I'm just doing this off the top of my head. Fine. You don't need 30 bullets in a magazine. Well, I might need 30 bullets in a magazine if I want to carry one weapon with me and go hunting, and I don't want to carry another magazine with me. Maybe I do want 30 bullets in my magazine. Or if I'm doing target practice, maybe I want 30 bullets in my magazine. Or if I want it in my house to protect my family against somebody who may have purchased a weapon in the black market, a quote-unquote semi-automatic, yes, I want 30 rounds in my magazine. There's a lot of reasons to have 30 rounds in a magazine. So let's say they outlaw that. Only 7. Only 10. Whatever. We'll pretend we're New Jersey, New York. Okay. Now I'm 18. I can't buy a rifle. I can buy a pistol. But let's say only 7 rounds. Okay. Then I'll buy 5 pistols. Now I have 35 rounds. I pick up one pistol, finish it, pick up another pistol, finish it, pick up another. No. Well, what are you going to do about it? Well, we have to limit the number of pistols you can have. Or maybe, given your youth, maybe you shouldn't be able to buy pistols either. You get my point? This solves nothing. And it's not intended to solve anything. It's like Obamacare. It's like everything else the left does. The foot is in the door, and the door is open. Your rights are not sacrosanct anymore. Matter of fact, you and I, those of you who agree with me, we're on defense all the time. We're on defense having to defend our unalienable rights. We're on defense having to defend our Bill of Rights, which is intended to protect the individual. You and I, we defend all the Bill of Rights. The progressives, they choose what they want to defend and then attack what they don't want to defend. I have the lowest of regard, utter contempt for these Republican politicians who buckle. Some things are more important than their reelection. Certainly more important to me. We had men who put their... One moment. We have men who put their lives on the line to give us our Constitution, to give us our Bill of Rights. Many of these men, teenagers, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, who put their lives on the line to give us this country. To give us this country. Equal justice for all. Don't we hear this all the time? Right, Van Jones? Equal justice for everyone, except if you're 18, 19, or 20. We are going to determine, without any evidence whatsoever, that you are incapable of properly purchasing, handling, training with, properly using a rifle. Based on what? Because we just decided based on that. And that, you see, ladies and gentlemen, will solve everything. Then they said, no, it's not going to solve everything, but it's a start. Oh, it's a start. Well, where does it end? They keep talking about Australia. Australia's great. Australia confiscated the guns from its citizens, essentially. They don't have a Second Amendment. We do, thank God. We do. I want you to listen to Richard Blumenthal. He's a United States Senator from Connecticut. He is a despicable human being. He's a despicable human being who claimed to be a combat veteran in Vietnam. Now, if this was a drunk at a bar who kept doing that to get free drinks, he could have been charged with a crime. But instead, he's drunk with power, and he's a United States Senator because stupid people elect him to the United States Senate. Now, all these people who go to the Senate, all these people who go to the House, they swear under oath to God that they will uphold the Constitution, that they will be faithful to the Constitution. And virtually all of them are not. They're not men and women of their word. Here's Blumenthal on the Morning Joe. Cut 6, go.
Well, first, half-cocked, harebrained, really toxic lunacy is the way to describe the idea of arming 10 to 40% of all the teachers in this country. There are 3.5 million teachers. That means 700,000 of them are going to be packing heat in their classrooms. What kind of message does that send to students? And what kind of real prevention does it provide? It provides no deterrence because...
This is a man who represents a state where a lunatic stole weapons from his mother, murdered his mother. She owned the weapons legally, took the weapons from his mother, goes into an elementary school, and executes little kids. And he tells us, this is how sickening this is. He represents this state. He tells us, what good would it do to have teachers who are armed in the classroom, trained in the classroom? What good would it do? What good would it do? It would save little kids. That's what good it would do. Once again, since I was the first to raise it, let me raise it again. In Israel, they were all in on gun control. All in. Then they realized, wait a minute, the Palestinians aren't following the rules. In fact, they're going into our elementary schools with knives and they're slaughtering our babies. And the Israeli government said, we've had enough of it. If you want to be a teacher in our country, you will in fact be trained on the use of weapons. You will in fact pack, and you will in fact protect those kids. And yet the left uses language like 700,000 teachers packing. They know what Trump means. It means a certain fraction or percentage of the faculty, those who want to be involved, those who have the experience, those who want to learn how to defend their kids in the classroom, should be able to do it. Whatever the number is. And local school systems should be able to make those decisions. Nothing's toxic. Nothing toxic about this. This man is as vile as they come. He projects his own mental instability, his own dissembling, his entire career of dissembling about his service in Vietnam. And he is constantly brought before the MSNBC cameras by a louse, a low-life louse like Joe Scarborough, who will take anybody off the street as long as they trash the President of the United States. That's what we call pond scum. Then there's a fool by the name of Bret Stephens. He's sort of the new David Brock. David Brock used to be a conspiracy theorist. He used to go around and get all this kind of information. He used to sit down with me. Oh, yeah, we wrote a book. And then he flipped. He started Media Matters. Another crackpot. Bret Stephens is like that. He's a crackpot. was an editor at the Jerusalem Post, where he was hated by